What's up, guys? If you're interested in hanging out and chatting with me while I grab footage that you'll likely see in future videos, head on over to my Twitch channel linked in the description below, where we can talk all things COD, gaming, whatever life throws at us. Hope to see you there, but let's get back into the content at hand. So yesterday I picked the wrong day to work on my house and take a full day off of socials and YouTube. That always seems to work out that way, but yesterday was quite an interesting day with a ton of information coming out about Call of Duty 2020, a reveal window, a possible beta, and a release and promotional piece that seems to tie it all together. So today, while you may have seen some of this here and there in your feeds, either on Twitter or YouTube, wherever you may follow your information, as of last night, I want to bring you guys a little bit of an earlier video in the day here to recap everything that you may have missed and wrap it all up here for you. So with that said, let me know your thoughts down below. Are you looking forward to Call of Duty 2020? When do you think the reveal is going to be happening? What do you want to see out of it? Whatever it may be, let me know down there in the comments. As well, if you are new to the channel, with so much stuff regarding Season 5, COD 2020, and all things Call of Duty right around the corner, do be sure to hit the subscribe button if you have not done so already so you can stay in the loop with it all on a daily basis. But anyways, let's jump into it. Before we begin, the subject matter that we'll be talking about today is honestly really sensitive. It's still the intellectual property of Treyarch, presumably, and Activision. So a lot of the stuff we talk about where there would be images to reference, we're not going to be putting it in here because there's already been so many strikes given out across the board for people talking about this stuff. So images, unfortunately, I can leave linked in the description below over at these Twitter accounts we'll be talking about and all, but in video, unfortunately, we won't be including them. So this starts out with a handful of different individuals. Sources like Okami, Gaming Revolution, Prototype Warehouse, Modern Warzone, and the Modern Warfare 2 Ghost. They were all talking about this, digging up new stuff here that we ended up seeing come out as of yesterday. So huge credit to all of them. Their links will be down there in the description below, but it started with the catalyst. Okami ended up tweeting, small update regarding COD 2020. As of about a week ago, it's still on schedule to release this year, no delay. Reveal coming very soon. Now, Okami has a good track record in the past, and this is a good catalyst for what we saw the discussion that spawned yesterday. While some information sure has changed over time that he's talked about in the past, that's all really subject to change because of the developmental changes. Things behind the scenes that we never as a public get to see, but for the most part, everything that he's mentioned in the past has really come to fruition. So I take this with a little bit more merit than, say, somebody who's just making an account and putting it out there for the world to see. But in relation to the mention that everything is still on schedule to release this year with no delay, that's something that is kind of nice to hear. We ended up seeing that this was a long asked question, considering that we haven't seen anything in regards to 2020 officially just yet, and many believing that with the work from home shift from studios, that this would inevitably be delayed, that we wouldn't see the same productivity coming out of the studios working from home as opposed to if they were actually in office, to which that may have some effect on how the game is released. But according to his sources, it seems like that won't be the case. But in terms of a reveal period, citing as reveal coming very soon, that seems to be the closer one up on deck. So when can we see this? Right now, all signs are pointing towards something with Season 5, whether it's an immediate reveal with the launch of the new content or not. We don't entirely know just yet. Maybe it comes a couple of days after the Season 5 launch so that Modern Warfare ends up having its day in the limelight where it has that new content. Players can jump on, experience all that kind of stuff, but then can come back and refocus on the reveal event that's going to be happening within Season 5. We don't exactly know how it will happen, but all signs from the game files and other previously leaked things we've discussed seem to point towards this being the case, where Season 5 is going to have a much heavier gravity on not only just Modern Warfare, but the future of COD and COD 2020 here than we may consider initially. So now, just being a little over a week out from that launch of Season 5, definitely keep your eyes open because we're fast approaching what may be a big period here for Call of Duty in general. But as for the release of the game, that's something that, yes, it says it's still on schedule, but it says that this year. That doesn't really give us a very finite window that we can take a look at and say that's when we think it will be coming out. Another leaker, Prototype Warehouse, mentioned the following: reveal August 5th, beta in September, release in December to coincide with next-gen console release. Hashtag COD 2020. Now, this is something that it seems like we'll talk about here in just a second, has kind of been debunked, but it offers even more interesting questions that we can ask, because there was that rumor for quite some time because we hadn't seen anything in terms of reveal. We still haven't. It was maybe the thought that maybe, yes, it is something that's pushed back to a later release date because of maybe the work from home thing. Maybe that it is because they wanted to take more focus on Warzone. And so then we see it coming in December or something like that. And that was the big theory that tethered into that, because if Xbox Series X and PlayStation 5 are both coming out holiday 2020, that could be something that maybe it's a launch title for both of those. But the introduction of the beta is something that we don't exactly know of, and might come back to this later on in the video, but a beta in September September is more so a demo if it's something that is actually launching in October. But if it does release in December, sure, it could be a beta, it could be something that we just kind of assume is happening because we've seen it in the last couple of years, but that was something that was put out there in the world as well. But now we get to the point where we see that sort of contradicted here. The next part that came out, the piece to the puzzle that finally came out at the end of the day, was that of some branding in what looked like images of Doritos Double XP promotional bags, in which it had not only just a date that we can look forward towards, but also possibly a full name for COD 2020, going back to what we heard initially of Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War. Quite the mouthful here, and for creators and streamers, man, that's going to be tough to SEO out of, because how do you make a title that's nice? Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War, best class setups. That is a lot to digest. But anyways, Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War looks to be that title now at this point. Another interesting development. We thought it was just going to be Black Ops a couple of weeks ago. We thought that it was going to be Black Ops Cold War about a month or two ago at this point. And before that, we thought it was going to be Black Ops 5. But it is something that now we see that progress a little further. But the interesting part, again, comes down to the dates that are given here with this, because this promotion ends up having the same double XP that we can end up seeing here across the board for various number of COD titles in the past, where every bag gives you a double XP code. You can rack those up, you can end up accumulating a bunch of them, and then you also have that chance to win double XP for an entire year. But the interesting part is that the promotion ends on January 31st of 2021 and begins on October 5th of this year. So a couple of months you end up having to work with this. But the thing is if you take a look at historically how these promotions have worked in the past, they usually have a little bit of build-up time where before launch you can end up getting these codes, you can stack them up, input them into your Call of Duty account so that you have them banked up and ready to go for that Call of Duty to launch, so you have it right on launch day. But they also don't expire anytime shortly after that launch window. So if it was something that was going to be launching in December, you'd only have about a month and a half's time to end up getting this post-launch. And that's a lot of build-up, assuming this is something that is legitimate, to have 2 months before the launch of the game that you can stockpile codes. That doesn't usually happen. So when we take a look at that October 5th date for this double XP promotion, that might actually more so point towards it being another October release, with Okami pointing out that double XP for Modern Warfare started on October 1st, that promotion, and the game actually came out on October 25th. So very well could be, again, that last week of October, first week of November, but a little bit earlier than that of the initially mentioned December time period, and that coinciding then with the launch of next-gen consoles. I am very much so expecting this to be something that does launch alongside next-gen consoles as well, but maybe not at the very beginning of it. Or maybe you can pre-order and then upgrade your copy once you end up getting it, like you could, if I'm not mistaken, back when Ghost was the main title as well. So it was definitely a lot to digest here. Heard a lot of different information here about this, that the game was on track for a standard release date. Then we heard that it was going to be something that was releasing with next-gen consoles, also with a beta, which would be cool. But actually talking about that part a little bit further, with this new promotional image out in the wild of the Doritos bag, of something that ends up showcasing that there will be a double XP event going on with this, and the dates that are given, if that is legitimate, I don't think that we'll see a beta, or if there is, I kind of hope that we don't see one, because at that point, when we talk about how a game is developed, how a game has to go out then for pressing to discs, it is something that in September, you're not really going to be getting a beta. You're going to be getting a demo. It's something that will be almost certified and pressed gold at that point, sent out for physical copies of the game to be made, sent out to retailers and all, so they can stock up for the launch. And September just doesn't really give you something that has the ability to, if you want to give reactions and feedback for change in development, you're not really going to see that. Case in point being Infinite Warfare's beta. That was something that was released in September, and it was something that also then came out a few weeks later. I think it was like 3 weeks after the beta ended, the game actually launched. That game was a demo, and that was one of the things that also, in my mind, helped to kind of break down Infinite Warfare into a game that wasn't a year-long grind for me. I didn't play it the entire year because I just got bored, and the beta was part of that, because you had the full game in a sense, just with some things locked off. You had the full game right up front there, so you didn't really get to experience all that much new stuff once the game actually came out for its launch. So that's my big worry here if you try and squeeze in a beta in an already shorter time frame between when it's revealed and when it actually launches, because maybe that is the case where we only have a month and a half, 2 months here until the game actually launches from when we first learn about it officially. So that's kind of where we're at here with that, but that's where we're going to wrap it up. That's been my piece here on it, and also everything that's been coming up in the last 24 to 48 hours. So that said, let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section down below. What are you guys thinking here out of all of this? Are you looking forward to the reveal here? Do you like the name of Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War? I personally think it's quite a mouthful. Are you looking forward to hearing anything in particular? Whatever it is, feel free to let me know your thoughts down there in the comments. But hopefully enjoy the video. If you did, make sure you drop a like down below, and of course, if you are new to the channel, make sure you guys subscribe so you don't miss a single thing regarding all things Modern Warfare, Warzone, COD 2020, you name it, all the best in updates, news, information, tips, tricks, all that good stuff. So if you're interested in any of that, hit that subscribe button. And if you guys also want to follow me over on Twitter and Instagram, those are the best places to get connected outside of YouTube. Practically live on both those. If you guys want to strike up a conversation, ask me a question, whatever it may be, that link is down there in the description below. That said, thanks so much for watching. Mine has been Espresso. I'll see you guys later. Take care and peace.